Startling new numbers show many members of our military may not be voting in the upcoming election. According to the nonpartisan Military Voter Protection Project, absentee ballot requests by our troops way down. Take a look. In key battleground states like Florida, it's less than half the 2008 total. In Virginia, it's around 1%. And in Ohio and North Carolina, the rate is about 1/10 of those seen 4 years ago. So what's behind all this? Let's talk to Cleta Mitchell. She is an election attorney and joins us from our D.C. bureau. Good morning, Cleta.
Good morning.
What do you think's going on?
Well, I think this administration has made a calculated political decision, as it does with everything, that the majority of military voters are not going to vote for this president for re-election, and so the administration has not enforced the law and has not opened the military voting assistance centers in more than half of the military installations in the world, and has spent zero effort trying to ensure that our military men and women have the right to vote protected and ensured during this election.
You know what, Cleta? I think you just included a little bit of news right there. You've done some research and you've discovered that the administration, despite the law being on the books, that they've got to open up these voter information centers, they haven't spent any money opening them up in many cases?
Well, it's interesting because the Department of Defense Inspector General's office issued a report this year saying that over half of the offices that were supposed to be opened could not even be contacted. And military personnel, when they're assigned to a new location, a new duty post, are supposed to be given voter information.
Right.
It's not being included in their packets. That's why the numbers are so down this year compared to 2 years ago, and certainly compared to 4 years ago. It's quite shocking, really.
The numbers are jaw-dropping. But, Cleta, according to one of the Fox News stories I read this morning regarding this, a spokesperson for the Pentagon said, look, the reason the numbers are down this year as compared to 2008 is because last time there were robust primaries on both the Republican and the Democrat side, and this time we only have a Republican primary. You're shaking your head. No, you don't buy it.
No, I don't buy it. Polls showed in May of this year the president was receiving only 34% of the military vote. Let's look at it this way. The Obama administration has spent $20 million this year to promote ObamaCare to the people because they know that the public doesn't like Obamacare. It spent $5 million in May and June of this year encouraging people to get on food stamps. Now, you tell me why it is that this administration, which could come up with $530 million for Solendra to reward their political cronies, cannot come up with $20 million a year to open these voting information centers that are required by federal law. And this administration, the Justice Department, has sued states like Florida trying to enforce the law against illegal immigration voting, illegal alien voting, but has done nothing to ensure the protection of the right to vote of our military men and women. I find it absolutely appalling.
And if you look, I believe it was in July that the administration sued, what was it, in Ohio, to block early voting for military members.
Yes, the administration and the Democratic National Committee took the position that giving military voters 3 extra days for early voting discriminated against non-military voters. And they won that suit in front of a liberal federal judge. So this administration and the Department of Justice under Eric Holder have been very aggressive in claiming that any efforts to protect the integrity of the election somehow discriminates against people.
Sure.
And yet they have done nothing to try to ensure that our military men and women who are defending our freedom, fighting for our right to vote, and making sure that their voting rights are protected. It's quite appalling.
Well, we thank you very much, Cleta, for joining us today from D.C. to tell us your analysis of what's going on behind this.
Thank you so much.
You bet.